Hi everybody, welcome to my brand new set. I am so excited to be here. I thought today, since I finally got my altar room set up, that not only we could talk about that a little bit, but also I wanted to talk to you guys about tarot cleansing. So here's my new space. If you have any questions about any of the things in it, please feel free to leave a comment and ask. Other than that, look around while we talk about tarot cleansing, okay? So since we have moved, all of the energies that I had built up in my space have changed. It's come to the point to now where I've been able to reestablish my boundaries, my protections, and raise the energy in my space. But my smaller items are still really being affected. So I know that I have a ton of readings to catch up on, and I promise that I'm working to get everybody's orders fulfilled as soon as I can. That being said, I need to make sure that my decks are on point, so I thought that I might share with you guys today just a little bit about how I cleanse tarot decks and the ways that some people do it, some do's and don'ts. So to begin with, I have 3 different tarot decks here. I have the Work Your Light Tarot, the Psychic Oracle, and the Angel deck. These are the ones that I use most frequently when I'm doing free readings for people, because it's the one that this is the set for me that tends to really answer some broader questions and do really well with that one-on-one kind of spot reading. So these I use all of the time. That being said, it's integral that their energies are working right. So what are some symptoms of a tarot deck? Like if your tarot needs cleansed, how do you know that? Well, number 1, use. If you've been using your tarot, it's a good idea to cleanse it. If you haven't been using your tarot and you're getting ready to start again, it's a good idea to cleanse it. If it's a tarot that's new to you, cleanse it. If you are gifting a tarot to someone, you should cleanse it, okay? It's important to get your energies off of things. It's important to get your energies into things. So this is kind of what we're doing today. If you are doing tarot readings where usually you have a tried and true deck that you use all the time, and your deck is just, and you can see, if it's super sluggish, if it's like it's not really wanting to pick up and slide like it used to, I guess is a good word for it, that's a good sign that there's some heavy energies in here that maybe need to be cleansed. If you hold your hand over your deck and you can feel any sort of like tingling or anything like that that's noticeable, and it may not necessarily be unpleasant, but you can just tell like there's something a little bit different, that's a good time to cleanse, okay? Anytime that you move, anytime that you significantly move your space, so like even if you're in the same house and you move your bedroom somewhere, you really want to make sure, or your altar space, whatever it may be, however you practice, okay? You really want to make sure that you cleanse these, okay? If you are receiving particularly dark readings or readings that are jumbled and don't really make a lot of sense, it's a good idea to just go ahead and cleanse those things. If you've done a reading for yourself or for someone else that's been particularly heavy and like, wow, it was spot on, we really got in there, but man, that was deep, cleanse your tarot, okay? These are basically placeholders for energy. Each one of these is a placeholder for a thought, an idea, a human experience, energy. So when the energies are off, you end up with mixed and confusing results. So, my tarot probably needs to be cleansed, right? If you've done anything with your tarot, you could probably go ahead and cleanse it. As we're stuck at home, it's also a really good idea. Like a lot of people, if you're like me, you've been doing some yard work, you've been kind of cleaning up and arranging and getting things around, why not cleanse your tarot? Make sure that you're taking care of your tools, okay? So, how do we go about cleansing a tarot? Well, there are so many different ways to do this. First and foremost, no tools at all, okay? You simply take your tarot deck, hold it in your hand, and make the intention, I'm going to cleanse my tarot. In your head, you're visualizing your tarot and you're seeing any energies that are on this being wiped away. They're just falling away. Okay, you see, like, you can imagine if you want to, even muck or ick or whatever comes into your mind is perfect. Okay, whatever it is that you see in your head is perfect because it's about your intention. I intend to cleanse this deck. Okay? It's as simple as that. Now, there are some people who think that you can wake up a tarot deck that you can put energy into, or you can remove energy from a tarot deck by knocking on them. Okay? If that's a part of your practice, it works well. I think that there's a very good physical element to that helps connect our intention plus our physical body, which is an excellent driving force, especially for beginners. So if that sings to you, give it a try. Okay, another way without any sort of tools or anything is just by shuffling. So you begin to shuffle these cards and all you're imagining is a light. I don't care what color it is for you. A lot of people like indigo because that corresponds with their third eye. A lot of people like purple because that's about the crown chakra and about guidance from spirit. So whatever feels most comfortable to you, white light, gold light, it doesn't matter. Whatever comes into your head that makes you feel and you know that you are cleansing your deck is the perfect light, okay? So you imagine that light as you shuffle, and you just continue to shuffle until the energies change and things become more and more clear. Now, as you are doing this, you don't want to be thinking about, what Timmy down the street did, or how your boss is a total butthole, okay? Don't think about any of that. Just try to keep imagining a light. And it's okay if your mind wanders. Very few people, I guess I should say, can sustain constant thought for long, but just pull it back and just keep thinking, cleansing, okay, I'm cleansing my tarot deck. So, that's the most basic hands-on way that you can do without any sort of props. As you can see, there's a lot of different ways that you can do it without any sort of intervention, okay, without any sort of accessory intervention, I mean. So, what other stuff can we use, though? We're witches. We like to do stuff, right? Okay. Fire is your number one. Fire? Yes. So, a tea light can prove to be a wonderful tool in cleansing. Fire itself is a cleansing element. Recently, if you've been a part of the world, you might have heard that Australia caught fire. That was an absolutely terrible, horrific event that went on and on and on. And thankfully, to my knowledge, the majority of those bushfires have since been quelled. Now, what they are seeing, what they are reporting, what I'm seeing, is a renewed growth that's happening in these areas of burn. There are actually a number of plants in this world that rely on that fire in order to be able to sprout, and it's not just Australia that does that. So fire is a cleansing and renewing element. How do you use fire in this? Very easily. Again, you're honing your intention each and every time. I'm not going to continue to repeat this, but what you should know is that each of these methods that you use, you want to be focusing this entire time on I'm cleansing, okay? Refocusing your vibration, okay? Focusing on a light. Whatever comes to you, whatever feels most natural is what you need to be doing, okay? So, you have this fire, you have this intention, and then just write over the candle. Now, you want to make sure that you're choosing something small. Please do not choose a giant one of these pillar candles because they get pretty hot even up here, and it's likely that you could possibly burn yourself while you're in your intention and kind of in your meditative state. So choose a smaller candle. A birthday candle works wonderfully. Whatever calls to you, okay? Whatever you have will work. Use that and just write over the flame. Now you can feel the flame's heat on your hand. It's going through. Now you can imagine fire going through your deck. You can imagine, whatever smoke, whatever heat symbol in your head going through your deck. And this is going to help burn out any of those negative energies and create a cleansing effect to your deck. Okay? So I'll set him there. I wanted to show you guys this kind of hard to see in this light, I guess, but he is a beautiful little owl, which I thought would be awesome for cleansing these decks. So when I do this, again, personally, not shooting a video, I'll probably be using this. If you have any sort of symbolic candle or anything that works for you, that draws to you, feel free to use that as well. Okay, candle shapes are and colors are important only to help us hone our vibration and help us hone our intention, okay? They're not necessary. As I said, you can do this without anything at all. So just feel free to use whatever really calls to you that you have, okay? So another way that you can use to cleanse your tarot cards are crystals. So I have an array of crystals here that I kind of just pulled out that I thought might be of good use, and I have one here that I definitely want to talk about because it's important as well. So let's talk about what you can use, okay? I have a tourmalated quartz here. I always mix them up. So tourmaline, black tourmaline, is here in this white quartz matrix. This is wonderful for breaking up any sort of energy, and how I would use this is to place it onto the deck, or to place it, maybe I would place this onto the deck but then wrap it up in something, or place it back into its containing box. If you're like me and you have a lot of tarot decks, maybe some of your tarot decks don't have boxes. That's okay. If you feel like you still want to wrap it up, a handkerchief, a piece of material, something that's important to you, whatever, okay? Use what you have. So, yeah. I have a couple pieces of clear quartz here, and these are just clear quartz rods. I would say nothing special, but every stone I have is special to me. So, clear quartz rods. Quartz is fantastic for transmuting and changing energy, okay? So any sort of quartz that you have is probably a good idea here. Now I have a piece of citrine. Citrine is wonderful for mental clarity. Citrine is something that you want to use if you're looking to raise a vibration and you're looking to really kind of clear things out. When I think of citrine, I think of that lemon yellow color, and it has that same kind of cleansing effect as a lemon, okay? We have the, very hard to see, we have an amethyst skull. Skulls are wonderful for healing, okay? They're not just used in death work, they're human. The skull is human. So it's particularly effective in healing work. Amethyst, another psychic intuition, this purple color, perfect for tarot work. Tiger's eye. Tiger's eye has a beautiful banding on it. Yeah, you can see that pretty well there. Tiger's eye has grounding energies. If you're looking for something that's going to kind of rein everything in and pull it down and you know, like, hey, hold on a minute. If you're looking for something with that kind of a property, Tiger's eye is wonderful. I also have a piece of lapis. It's small, but this beautiful blue color. This is talking about that third eye, and we're talking about our intuition. Perfect. So these are wonderful types of crystals that you can use. Again, anything that you feel works. Okay? These are just my ideas. My big, pay attention now, is this. Now, what is this? This is a piece of Himalayan pink salt. Okay, it's a rather large piece, as you can see. It was at one point in time a lamp. The bulb burned out, and I've kept it because it's a huge piece of Himalayan salt, right? Why? Why do I have this? Well, salt is ubiquitous in witchcraft cleansing. When we talk about cleansing anything, salt is almost always included. Here's a warning. Do not put your tarot cards on salt or in salt. Okay? Why? Salt, if you've owned one of these, especially as a candle holder, you may have been surprised one day when you looked down into it and you were like, what's all that water? Salt draws water. So when you put your tarot decks, which are made of paper, into salt, you're drawing water directly into your tarot deck. Now, if you're like me, you may have a lot of them. You may be like, okay, I'm going to do a mass cleansing. I've got like 7 different decks here. I get this one out. I take care of this one. I take care of this one. Maybe one of them stays in overnight. Next thing you know, you end up with these bloated cards, and your cards are not, they're not as great as they used to be. We'll put it that way, okay? So it's important for you to consider what you are putting your things in. So there's different crystals do well in salt. The seashell could do great in a salt bath. Just don't use your cards with salt, okay? All right, so we've kind of talked about crystals there. A good idea, good selection. Selenite. This is a selenite rod. These are fantastic for transmuting energy. If you are a person who likes to use wands, consider using a piece of selenite as a wand, because these amplify whatever energy you're directing, and you can quite literally have some explosive effects. Okay, selenite, fantastic. I have a feather here. How would I use a feather? Well, I also have some different kinds of smoke, and we'll talk about those in a moment, but the feather itself can be used just to brush away any negativity, okay? Now, you could take this and you could spread your cards all the way out here on deck and do this, or you could take them one by one and do this if you wanted to. Whatever calls to you, whatever you feel is most effective is what you're supposed to be doing. So, we take this, put this back. I have a feather. I like this feather. You can use whatever feather you want to. You don't have to use a feather. You could use a leaf. You could use a branch. You could use a fern. You could use whatever you like, okay? Whatever you like. What I'm going to show you now are the different kinds of smoke. So we have 3 different kinds of smoke here that I chose, 2 because they're popular and 1 because I think it's really appropriate. The first 2 you guys may be familiar with. This is, of course, a sage wand. This is a piece of Palo Santo. And this, 10 points if you can guess what this is. This is a mugwort wand. White sage. Perfect cleanser, wonderful ingredient, will strip away just about any sort of negativity that you're going to run into on a tarot card deck. Easy to find. As long as you're making sure that it's sustainably sourced, not so much of a problem. Palo Santo. Exorcism. When I hear Palo Santo, when I smell Palo Santo, it has that cleansing effect to it. This will get rid of any negative entities. I highly recommend using these when you have gotten a deck that's used but is new to you. Okay? Palo Santo, it's a little bit of a step up as far as like spiritual degreasing ability. Okay? Now the third one that I chose, mugwort, I wanted to talk about because mugwort is also known as black sage. It's not very frequent that you find this in metaphysical shops. A lot of people don't carry it, or it's under that black sage name, and so if you don't know the difference, you may be even passing by it. Mugwort is so wonderful for tarot. Why? Because it is a psychoactive herb. This little bad boy right here, he's amazing. You don't need much. Fantastic. This definitely has a different scent because it's a different plant entirely. This is actually an Artemisia as opposed to that being a salvia. Little botany there for you. But this is a plant of dreaming. This is a plant of intuition. This is a plant of psychic ability. So what I do recommend is that you get yourself 1 or 2 of these, and then you get yourself 1 of these. So how do I do that? I'm going to light my sage wand, or I'm going to light my Palo Santo. In this case, I'm doing both. And you can do both if that's something that calls to you. Whatever you feel good about. I put these together, okay? Now this is a great place where you can use the selenite wand because it allows you to kind of prop these things up there so that you're not having to juggle wands plus this. And then you just begin shuffling. Now, if you don't have these sticks, maybe you have some loose incense, you could just throw your loose incense into your cauldron and do that right over there as the smoke goes. So the idea, again, we are honing that intention of cleansing. And right now I have these two lit because these are the strippers, basically. Woo, I'm not talking about that, girls. I'm talking about the ones that are stripping off that negative energy, okay? So I run this through the smoke, and the entire time I'm thinking cleansing, 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 okay? I do that. Once I feel that this deck has been sufficiently cleansed in that way, then I will light my mugwort wand. Go ahead and set this here. Make sure I got a good burn on that. And now I'm going to reload this deck's energy. Okay, now I'm thinking about raising the vibration, and I'm thinking about the cards slipping out of my hands effortlessly, and about all of my tarot readings being spot on. Maybe I even imagine people being like, oh wow, how amazing is this reading? I can't believe it. It's fantastic, okay? Whatever it is that you were trying to accomplish, put your intention now into the cards. Now, this is a good sign, what you saw happen here. This is a good sign that you have completed your energy building. So, take any of the cards that come out, take a look at them, and let's see what we ended up here. So just for funsies, if you guys are interested, questions. What are you clinging to? Rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Where are you being called to journey to? What is the feeling trying to tell you? And stop overthinking, keep facing your true north. So these cards together to me are talking to me about the fact that I just cleansed my tarot deck. Take that as you will. So we've used smoke. We've used crystals, we've used fire. Other ways that you could possibly do to cleanse your tarot deck include sound. I've got a drum here. A bell would work as well. Clapping, stomping, anything rhythmic that you can keep up in order to kind of jostle and jar those vibrations around, okay? Anything like that. There are lots of other ways that you could use. Obviously, I don't recommend spraying anything on your tarot cards because that can become sticky and it could damage them. I don't recommend using any sort of like commercial cleansers or anything like that. Again, this is paper, so anything that you wouldn't use, any way that you wouldn't treat paper, don't treat your tarot cards that way, and be extra nice to them, okay? They have beautiful messages to give us, and we just need to be respectful and keep them clean. So if you guys have any questions, please comment below, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next cleanse. Bye.